Now recognize members for testimony, starting with myself. Mr. Spear, I appreciate everything ATA and its members do to improve safety and the quality of life for nation's truck drivers, particularly during this week as we honor our truck drivers and National Truck Drivers Appreciation Week. This committee believes in the value of American truckers, as do you. I know that's the case. We're exploring new technologies, and that's not to try and displace truckers. It's actually to assist truckers. And I want to know if you agree with that statement, and if so, can you expand on it a little bit?
I do. I really draw attention as we were talking through our opening statements about the shortage of talent. And we see it across every segment of employment, but specific to truck drivers. We're short right now 78,000 drivers. We're going to have to bring in 1.2 million more over the next decade just to meet economic demand and deal with an aging, retiring workforce. So there's a massive gap here to fill. Innovation can play a role, Mr. Chairman. It has the ability to not only enable our existing driver force to be more aware and responsive and have more command and control when they're driving, which is good for the motoring public. That breeds safety. But it also has the development of autonomous vehicles in years to come where we can fill that gap. If we're not going to add workforce to fill that 78,000, we're going to need technology, we're going to need innovation to play that role. So we believe that there is a place for both to cohabitate, and displacement is a myth. Now, if we didn't have a shortage, we'd be having a candid discussion about people losing their jobs. That is not the case here. There's no data to support that. I've read all the letters and everything that's been submitted to you. I can assure you, displacement is a myth. So there's plenty of room for innovation to play a role. We need to embrace it, and it has serious, measurable benefits to safety.
Thank you. I want to turn to Mr. Urmson, if I could. We're living in a world now where we face a lot of cyber threats. And so I want to give you an opportunity to kind of explain how you're addressing, how your technology addresses that evolving threat, because what's happening today doesn't look like what will happen tomorrow and the next day with regard to cyber threats.
Thank you for the question. Obviously, cybersecurity is a much broader topic than automated vehicles. We have this challenge, whether it's with our industrial infrastructure or with vehicles that are on the road today. At Aurora, we take this very seriously. Our whole business is our intellectual property and the systems we're developing, and so we've invested heavily in a cybersecurity team. I think we have around 50 people that are dedicated to improving the cybersecurity, both of our corporate infrastructure, but importantly, the product infrastructure. They look at best practices, various standards that are promulgated, even those, of course, from NIST, and we integrate that into the way we develop our systems. So, as you know, we have to continue to innovate in this space. It's kind of a running battle, but we feel well equipped to fight that battle.
Thank you. Mr. Farrell, real quick, Monday, the California Senate passed a bill requiring a driver in any autonomous vehicle over 10,000 pounds. What's the impact of this legislation on our nation's supply chain?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for the question. The bill I believe you're referring to is AB 316, and interestingly enough, Governor Newsom's agencies at a state level, including the Department of Motor Vehicle, the Governor's Office of Business Development, other agencies have vociferously opposed this bill. They have noted that it would be detrimental from a safety and supply chain perspective to California. I think that it really goes back to what I said during the opening statement, which is that we need to move more freight in this country. Otherwise, we are letting down the people that depend upon the supply chain. That is acutely the case in California. You've seen a lot of strains that have happened on the ports of Long Beach and in Los Angeles. This is something where a lot of the prominence of those ports has shifted east, and that certainly benefited other states. And California is very vital to our supply chain. And so if they ultimately reject this technology, this is something where it not only locks in the safety status quo, which is unacceptable on California's roads, it also continues to put California behind the eight ball. And so we're hopeful that Governor Newsom's agencies are able to ultimately make this point very, very loud and clear, and we're hopeful that the governor will veto that bill.